much being able to utilize that framework, that infrastructure to keep things a little bit more formal or responsible and respectful, but also keep the innovation going that can happen in those kind of spontaneous, spur of the moment conversations, and leave room for those as well.
Yeah, that's great. A great point. Something that we do is, and this goes back to meeting your staff or meeting your team where they are, is with our partner schools, we don't. We have email support, but sometimes they'll send a chat message. We've even got phone calls as well. And so really, now I know some would shy away from that because they're like, oh, that's just so much to manage. But what we found effective is just we get good at creating tickets versus relying on the end users to create the tickets. And so for example, when we're on a meeting with a call, we're all trained on, okay, how can I create a ticket at that point, and then how to go back to it and adjust it if needed, instead of asking the partner school to go on and create the ticket and get back to me. So trying to less the friction for them, and then they feel more comfortable. To come by the water cooler or pop their head in the door, because you're not stressed to be like, oh, why don't you just send me an email?
That is really interesting. I like that idea of keeping open lines, but having the team be able to more frictionlessly create those tickets. Again, offloading some of the work from your end user to your team. But do you think that kind of development of that idea has come from kind of the staff augmentation of ReWorkflow? Is that something you were doing before? What is the inspiration for that? I don't think at least I haven't heard in the community other folks doing it like that. So that's really interesting. I like that idea.
Yeah, I think it definitely has advanced from our work with ReWorkflow, because having multiple schools at a time coming in with requests makes you learn faster. But I will say I started developing this personally at previous institutions that I worked at. I'm thinking of Columbia University and University of Dartmouth specifically, where we were the operations team, so we would get these requests. And full honesty, at first I was super stressed, and I was like, something's got to change. And so that's where I started reading books and listening to podcasts and things on these kind of topics as well. Just operational efficiencies and those kind of topics, and then just learning as you go. Yeah.
That's really interesting. So if anyone else was interested in maybe that flipped or inverted ticketing system, is there a couple pieces of advice, or if there's like a book or a podcast episode that did kind of help clarify or really put that into focus for you? Or if that's a future episode on the ReWorkflow podcast? Yeah,
that's a great idea for a future episode of the ReWorkflow podcast. The one book that just comes to mind off the top of my head is Unreasonable Hospitality, and I'm forgetting, I want to say Gino. I'll have to look up the author's name. But shout out to Megan Story for recommending that. And anything just customer service related. Just learning, because that's really what we're in, even not just as a service provider like ReWorkflow, but as an operations team or an admissions team, enrollment management office team. We're in the business of customer service, and so what can you learn to improve those kind of things? Learn from the private sector, I guess. Learn from consumers, the consumer side. Yeah.